All righty. Welcome back, boys. It is Christmas week. The Red Corner is going to Clearwater in only a few days here, Slim. I'm pumped. Bones, I know we already talked about this. We'll get you next time. A lot to talk about tonight. We're going to be teasing our Clearwater trip all night. We got a lot of topics. We got some leadoff hitter saga. We got some Justin Crawford. Who's he actually going to be? Because now the stock's kind of going all over the place on Crawford. We got Andrew Painter's debut. We got the never-ending Bryce Harper drama of the week topic. We'll get into that. Slim, hit us with your shout-outs, baby.
Yeah, I got 3 big shout-outs, and these are all for all my millennials out there, right? And this might expose some of the people on this podcast to show you how much they don't watch or do anything else outside of sports. First thing, T.I. coming back at 50 Cent. 50 Cent, we know that dude, like him, not, agree with him, not. He's a bully, right? They're his antics. Well, if you've been paying any attention, T.I. and his son, King, have dropped like 5 or more diss records just within the past 7 days, all coming at 50 Cent. It's hyping up a potential versus battle where both of them would just run through all their best stuff one after another to see who gets the place jumping more. And I got to tell you what, I think T.I. As an underdog would come in and upset 50 Cent there. That's my first shout out. Shout out to T.I. and King.
The rubber band man.
The rubber band man, indeed. And he's on We Taking Over, which I think is like better than anything 50 Cent has done. Secondly, I got to give a shout out to Scream 7. Just had his best weekend ever for the franchise. I'm super excited. I'm hearing great things. So shout out to Scream 7. I'm a huge Scream 1 fan. I saw that up at the Devlin up in Mayfair way back in the day.
Shout out.
And the last one is shout out to Tubi TV, which Bones has referenced before. They're going to be releasing all the old school Looney Tunes, all the old school Cartoon Network shows. They're just dropping like hundreds of shows free, all the episodes at once. They're dropping all the back catalogs. So your kids can truly grow up with the same cartoons you did at this point. So they're my big 3 shout outs.
Very cool. So before we get to the poll results of the week, I got a shout out. And this shout out's about our guy, our boy Slim. Congratulations to Slim on being named the head coach of the Liguori Academy baseball team. Let's give a Red Corner applause for that. So, Slim, we're very proud of you. It's a high school baseball coach, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're getting the program started from a club team to a full-blown organizational team in the Penn Jersey League, hopefully. Practice starts this week.
Yeah, congratulations. Again, we're very proud of you. We're going to be involved as much as we can. So if anyone wants to, not only do we talk ball, we're involved with ball in many ways.
Yep, live it. We live it.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, Bones,
I have no clue who T.I. is. One, I don't even know. And 50 Cent, I can't remember the last song he wrote besides Birthday.
You know Rubber Band Man. Rubber Band Man. What's the next line, Slim?
No, Rubber Band Man. That's like a 70s song. Rubber Band.
Yeah.
You know the song, Chris. I can't think of it.
Yeah, I know both. I know both versions. That's what he's I know both versions. I know the T.I. version. Who sings your version? Who sings the 70 versions? Dun, 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 dun. Hurt yourself. Rubber band. And of course, Rubber Band Man. Wide as a bound.
There you go. I couldn't think of that second line.
Yeah, I won't embarrass myself trying to spit, but.
And I heard Scream 7 sucked. I didn't even know they had 6 of them before.
Oh, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
It's not even out yet, I thought.
It came out Friday, I thought.
Oh, it came out Friday. Okay. All right.
Atlas told me it had a nuclear weekend.
Bones, what do we got for our poll of the week, brother?
So this week we had a poll. Who do you want to see batting leadoff for the club this year? And we had 4 players. It was Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryson Stott.
Okay.
So, taking the poll and commanding was Trey Turner. I mean, the guy batted .304 last year, led the league in hitting, stole 39 bases. So he did a pretty good job at leading off. So 61%. And then Schwarber and Stott at 15%, and then Bryce Harper finished with 9%.
Wow.
What do you guys think?
That. I'm surprised to hear Harper 4. I think if I had to guess, people were considering the fact that obviously he has not led off a lot in his career, and he doesn't like to lead off. So I'm sure they kind of factored that into their vote.
I'm surprised too, because I thought that was an idea that was gaining traction.
Right.
Again, we live in this world where there's different avenues, YouTube, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and depending, even the radio. We've seen it with the radio for years and years and years, and we see it with the TV. It really depends where you're getting your information, because I bet you in certain platforms, if this was on Twitter, we would have seen more Bryce Harper for sure.
Good point. Yeah, no, you're 100%. You're right. The vacuums that you're in sometimes really influences. All right. So before we get to our first topic, which will be talking about our thoughts on who should lead off, chat. I see you in the chat. I see you, BW Jones. I see you, Tony B in the chat. Guys, all night long, please do us a favor. If you want to enter a raffle for another Phillies bobblehead, just do a hashtag comment Red Rider. Again, that is hashtag Red Rider, and you will be entered into a free raffle for a Phillies surprise bobblehead. Guys, what do you say we jump into our first topics here?
Yeah, let's do it.
And Tony, I love this here. Tony, 50 Cent is a genius. If you ain't down with the power universe, you must ain't know. That's a show, right, Slim?
It's a series I heard, I'm going to actually get into it because I've heard people talking about it, and I thought some real Philly drama was going down. And I was one of my nicknames besides Slim is Ears, right? And I was like, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, yo, we're talking about power. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, there's nothing. All right, sounds good. But it sounded fantastic. Tony, though, head to head, banger after banger. Who do you got, T.I. or 50 Cent? I'm taking T.I.
I'm going to go down this avenue with Tony. He used to have a radio show on the internet stream, Fat Rat Radio. He used to stream like old school rap and all that stuff.
Yeah, then he knows this one.
This is his business, dude.
You can have whatever you like. You can have whatever you like.
All right, so let's get to our first topic. Like we were saying, parlaying into the poll. So let's start with you on this one, Bones. Leadoff hitter. Who you got?
I'm going with Trey Turner. I mean, I'm going with the majority of the people here, 61%. I mean, they won 95 games last year with him there.
96.
Like I said, he batted .304. Yeah, I won at 95. He batted .304, 39 stolen bases, almost at that 40 mark that I was shooting for. But the team was there, and I'm just actually shocked that there's not more Schwarber at more than 15% Schwarber because of all the success they had.
Right.
The last few years when he was leadoff. But yeah, I think it's slam dunk Trey Turner.
I'll tell you what, I'm with you with Trey Turner for a bunch of reasons, but it's interesting, and we saw this right before the show. This weekend, Stott has 5 hits, and I'm not someone, and I know the facts. I know Topper said he's keeping those top 3 guys the top 3, so that's not the conversation I want to have.
Right.
But if Stott is actually, if the swing is real from the second half, if Kevin Long fixed them, if he's batting and he's seeing a ton of pitches, he's getting walks, he's able to steal, are we able to steal a ton of value if he's able to lead off? Right? That's like a big picture question. Because then Turner's going to be awesome. Harper might then have guys on the corners with no outs. He's going to see pitches at that point because they're not going to load the bases for Schwarber bombs. And I know a lot of the fan base wants Schwarber in the 4-hole. So I think, believe it or not, I'm with you, Bones. I got Turner as my number 1 for a ton of reasons. But in an ideal world, I think Stott is the idealistic person, right? If we're playing, does that make sense?
It does make sense. And kudos to you on this, Slim, because you've gone full circle here, right? Because in the past, you've been really hard on Stott. I've been a guy where it's like I've wanted Stott to be the leadoff hitter for years now. We gave him a chance last year. I'm looking, and by the way, I'm looking at his second and first half splits right here to the right of me. And Slim, you're right. Obviously, last year his first half splits OPS of 637, second half was 855. So he was like, night and day second half. So I think ideally, if Stott was the guy that we all wanted him to be, then yeah, it would make sense, right? Because then you're getting 4 players that you just noted 1 through 4. Now, it just seems like we're just kind of reinventing the wheel, though, because last year Turner just showed he was a top 5 MVP guy. He batted leadoff. He did his job. Why are we going to overanalyze and get too crazy with that? I know a lot of people are going to beat down the door of Harper should be the leadoff guy because for every spot up that you bat in the order, it gives you an extra 35 to 40 plate appearances in a given year. So obviously your best player, you want him to have the most plate appearances. I get the full math nerd numbers behind that. But again, if Harper doesn't want to do it, you don't do it. He's only batted leadoff like 40-something times in his career, games-wise. So it doesn't make sense. So yeah, let's not overthink this. I would go Turner. Let's just run it back. Now the question is, do we go Harper and then Schwarber? You guys, anything there?
So I kind of want to stay on just real quickly because we got to give kudos to Turner. His ability to consistently get on base, to get the steal bases, that's ideal. You mentioned Harper not wanting to be leadoff, and then your second question is who do you put behind Turner and 2?
Correct.
How eager is Harper to bat 2? I don't think he's really that eager to bat there either. And then again, that's where that's where Stott kind of fixes this equation. If Stott can be that guy, you go Stott, Turner, Harper, 3, Schwarber, 4, and now you're at Bohm at 5, and you fix that question for everybody. Now let's get back to what you asked. I think at 2 you got to put Schwarber.
So, and I want to hear your answer. I want to hear your answer to that, Bones. But so this is my thing on the Stott thing. This is a make or break year, right? I think we, regardless of how extreme you want to be, right? I think the internet, Twitter, is being more extreme about how much of a make or break year this is. But in a lot of ways, we got to do something this year. I think Topper would be crazy if he started the year with Stott as the leadoff man. And he's not going to do it because you already basically said that. But it's a unique proposition that you make. I just think it would be way too risky.
When do you explore it, though? Because if you were talking about what does this team look like at its deepest?
If they're on a losing streak, you'd explore it. If you're on a losing streak and Turner is not producing.
And then, at that point, you're already too far gone.
Yeah, so.
I think at that point, you'll be too far gone.
And I mean, this is a small sample size, too, that Stott's having success. 8 plate appearances. He has 5 hits. Granted, 2 of them are homers, but I got to see more sustainability of them, like during the season. And I'm going to steal a line from Major League off a guy that's not bagging groceries in 2 weeks.
I'm with you, right? I think you start off with Turner there, but your boy Harper, our boy Harper, once the injury comes, whether it be the Harper or whether it be the Turner, once somebody starts missing games, if Stott's been performing, I think you give him an opportunity up there at leadoff. And then when those other guys come back, you then can fill it in because this team looks a lot better with a well-producing Stott. And it's been longer than it's been the second half. And then this time before this made up injury I'm making up. So
right.
That would be a nice amount of games there. That would be over a whole summer coming back, yada, yada. And then the point being is what lineup looks deeper?
Yeah, and then to your point there, Tony's saying he was with me on the fact that he always wanted to see Stott lead off. Stott was his favorite player for a while there because of his patience and the way he worked at count. Yeah, I mean, that first couple of years, we thought we saw a future leadoff type guy, right? And then last year, he was like a 600 OPS guy in the leadoff. To answer your question directly, Slim, I think ideally I would feel great about that lineup in a Stott at his peak world, right? I would feel great about that.
I think he's trending up.
Yeah.
And I want to just say that I was arguing for Jose Iglesias last year.
Yeah.
I like to see him like staying at like six spot in the order. Like go Schwarber, Bohm, Garcia, maybe
But
Stott to break it up, and then Realmuto round it out with Crawford.
It's like
just something in there because he has the pop.
Do you think there's something there since like but batting 6 hole, like a 6 hole is like more like a river card. It's less defined, you know? So what do you think about like leading off? He has a clear role. That's when he can have that advantage of seeing the pitches. Is that less of an advantage in the 6 hole? The whole approach thing? Because I think you can focus his approach, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe guys say it's maybe what I'm talking about is made up, but I don't think it is. I think his approach at leadoff would be better and more productive than his approach in the 6 hole. Because it's more focused. Like, we need you to do this job. But is that always the case?
No, I just think, again, I'm trying not to beat this horse to death here. I just think it really comes down to this is a brass tacks year where we can't be taking risks. That's an unnecessary risk.
Right.
Harper would get fired in a month and a half if he started the year with Stott as the leadoff and we weren't winning. And he should get fired, actually. Because in that situation, you had Trey Turner, who played his butt off the year before at that position, and he tried to overmanage. I see what you're saying. I don't think what you're saying is crazy. You're talking to a Stott stan here. I just think, and it's the only way I could see that happening, like I already said, we start the year where if Turner's lost for whatever reason, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't happen, then we're like, all right, we got to try some other things. Then but I think
if you're right, you can't do it right off the bat.
Yeah.
But Turner's great because he's consistent and he's able to run on the bases. If Stott's consistent, and then we see someone get hurt or something, I'm open to it.
Yeah, no, I am too. I'm very easy to talking to.
Yeah, if he's playing well, and Turner gets hurt or somebody else gets hurt, and they got to slide Turner down, and I think Stott will be able to do that just for all the reasons we mentioned with working the count, great base running. Phillies are just a great base running team. Well, stealing bases, not base running.
So, are you guys? Are we all in the hierarchy of who we want to lead off? Turner, Stott, and then the other two, Schwarber and Harper, because we were surprised when the show opened that Harper was lower, but now that we're talking it out, it seems like he should be 3rd or 4th.
My 2 would be Schwarber.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my 2 would be Schwarber. Meaning that would be my second ranking for who I would lead off.
You would go Turner, Schwarber.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have to look at the numbers with Schwarber and what I think about Stott. The ideal Stott versus Schwarber, if he gets 5 at-bats, it's going to be a single or a hit.
Right.
A walk, a strikeout, and something else.
Just because Schwarber can start that game off with a bomb and ignite this team.
Right.
Because that's what they would need. If Schwarber has to bat leadoff, that means they're struggling and they need a fire up their ass. And he could change that in a one pitch.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm off the Schwarber batting first train, I think, boys. Because of that reason you said, that's telling me that things aren't getting done. We're not maxing out his power, if that's the case. We saw last year those RBIs skyrocket.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, Slim, are we good there, boys? Anything else?
Yep. Brianna Torres is back. Phillies won 2026.
What's up?
Welcome back, Brianna Torres. Nice to see you in the chat as always. Let's talk a little trip here, Slim. So I want to hear. So what are you expecting for this trip? Let's pull up Baycare Ballpark here. So this is the ballpark. So for all of the listeners, we have a picture up here of the Baycare Ballpark. We got all the different vendors showing here. So Slim, what are you wanting to get involved in the trip? I want to kind of hear what your plans are.
All right. So my understanding is that even though it's a signature place, it's not in the ballpark, and this is Frenchie's, right? So I'm eyeing up Frenchie's. I'm hearing all great things about Frenchie's, and what I'm hearing, and I'm going to challenge you to see if you're going to get the same plate I'm going to get.
Okay,
you got to get the grouper sandwich with a side of coconut shrimp.
I love coconut shrimp.
I'm getting both. I'm a coconut shrimp guy. I think everybody is. The grouper is something that I've been exploring fish more.
Okay.
Right, each summer I'm eating a little bit more and more fish, and I think I'm going to go for this grouper sandwich and expand the taste buds.
Oh, great call. So you're 2 for 2 there. So grouper is very good if you're a fish guy, and it's a huge Florida thing. You got to Google what a grouper looks like. They're gigantic. But
Yeah, I'm
anyway,
looking at it now.
yeah, they're big. But I don't know if I heard you say at the beginning that Frenchie's is not in the ballpark, because it is in the ballpark.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. Then we're good to go.
Yeah, so I think they have more than one location. So if you look at left field, you see that red
Yes.
pavilion there? So that's like the little tiki bar. So that's Frenchie's. So that place is a vibe out there. So they got all the different drinks. They got a tiki bar, people hanging. Honestly, like I said this last year when I was live from Clearwater, you could go to a ball game and just go hang out and just go to the bar and, watch the games on the TV. A lot of people do that. It's just like a fun hangout. So it's right here. I know you can't see my mouse, but that left field right on the line, that's where all that is.
Let's see if Chris will eat more ice cream this weekend than he did all of last season at Citizens Bank Park. Because I see a couple spots there I'm looking at.
Yeah, I probably will, because watching the game today, the place is packed. Absolutely packed. So it's going to be packed when we're there. I'm going to be hitting up Frenchie's, the ice cream, the random stands. I'll play by ears, but the signature places, Frenchie's, McGillicuddy's, Copper Tail down there, they're all places I'm going to be checking out.
So speaking of Frenchie's, here's so this is I got this right from the Phillies website. These are their new signature cocktails, Slim. So I want to, number one, I'm going to get your over and under on how many of these are you going to put away during the game. And number two, which one of these jumps out to you the most?
So I'll probably have.
Remember, it's going to be like 85 degrees.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at the Don Q Rum Runners. That looks good. I'll probably be somewhere between, let's set that 4.5.
That's a good number. I'm taking the over for sure. I'm taking the over. Yeah, so I'm looking here. The spicy pineapple mule, I had that last year. It's delicious. Highly recommend. And then I don't know if I want to do an espresso martini out, at that time.
Yeah, I was thinking that. That's like last on that list.
Yeah. The berry smash.
That stands out.
No, for sure.
I'm jealous. I am jealous.
But yeah, so
wasted my Florida trip on 4 kids and a wife going to Disney World.
God bless you, man. No, we're gonna miss you down there. But no, so anything else? So what else is on your agenda, Slim, that you want to accomplish? I want to see what I can help.
So what's going on with the surf side? Is that just a stand, or they got their whole surf side? Is that another signature place?
That's a stand, I believe, where they sell their stuff.
Okay, perfect. So probably gonna be swinging through the surf side spots. The barbecue. Ooh, you got a taco place. It looks like. Can we speak on the taco place? Because we're only going once. So if I get the grouper sandwich, I could probably got enough room in my belly for one more place to eat.
Yeah, I mean, I can't personally speak to the tacos. I did not get them. Truth be told, I will say that the grouper sandwich, like I said before, is definitely highly recommend. I think you're gonna have a great time in there, man. It's just again, it's a great vibe. It's it's like I can't really describe it. It's like spring break meets opening day. That's kind of the vibe, and it's not like crazy like spring break.
Right.
Yeah. So what else? Like, what else do you have anything else on your agenda that you want to accomplish while we're down there? I'm just trying to. I know I'm getting you off guard here, but anything else on the agenda that you want to accomplish that weekend?
I'm going to be relaxing, and honestly, this is really going to be like a scouting trip for 2 reasons. Scouting out the players who won't be at the World Baseball Classic, so we're going to be seeing a lot of the younger guys get their opportunities. Right. And secondly, scouting out because this is going to become a tradition of going down. So I want to do all the big spots. I'm going to be talking to a lot of people, taking a lot of information, asking how they do it,
Mhm.
and then seeing what's the best system and model to run year in and year out. So we're getting the biggest bang for our bucks, and really, because the truth is, we're going down to relax.
100%. Yeah. As crazy as it sounds, baseball is almost secondary, and you'll see that like the competitiveness of the game. Like you're not hanging on every pitch. It doesn't really matter who wins or loses. It's all about like the island vibes. That's really what it's all about. No, we're gonna have a good time here. So let's transition here, boys. And chat, same thing. Reminder: if you want to enter that raffle, just hashtag Red Rider. And if you are new here, please do us a favor: hit that like button on the video, and please hit that subscribe button. Um, Last comment on the spring training trip: if you see Slim at all, anytime down in Clearwater, do me a favor: come over to him, say hello, and he'll get you a Slim beer. Slim beers all weekend, baby.
Oh, we got to talk off
Yeah.
air about putting those on the company budget. How do I write those off now that we're approaching the Ides of March, brother? We're approaching the Ides of March, and it's been a big year for the boys at the Red Corner.
It has been. Those merch sales were through the roof thanks to all of our Red Riders. Yeah, no, we'll talk offline about that, but we do have a company card now, and that is a T&E expense. No doubt about it. Hope the IRS is not listening.
Red Riders are asking me. That's what they're coming up. They're saying, they're like, it's not even you, Slim. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Slim beer. Come up to Slim, say hello, and get a Slim beer. But let's move on here to our next topic. So there's a lot of internet craze right now, and rightfully so, on the Phillies assumed to be starting center fielder Justin Crawford, rookie, top prospect. He's been killing it, boys. So this is what I want to say. This has been a roller coaster because a couple months ago, the vibes were almost people are like, I don't know if this guy's going to be good enough, right? Everyone's talking crap about our outfield. Now the tides have turned. People are getting very excited about this guy. So come opening day, let's not get crazy, but what do you think the expectations, Slim, are for Justin Crawford this year, excuse me?
My expectations are for him. My reasonable expectations is he completely shuts down any center field defensive conversation. He locks that down within the first 60 to 90 days that we're watching him. It's a position that you don't want to let anything at all. You want to have a top 10 guy there in the league, and that's a hard ask. It's a hard ask to be really, really good in center field, and that's what we're asking him. We've seen him make plays at the wall already, so that's all fine and dandy. And secondly, I do think it's reasonable to ask him to bat above 260 and to get about 30 stolen bases, or at least get above 20 stolen bases. I think we should at least be able to see that. And what I really, 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 really want to see, because I'm not going to really care about the analytics. I'm not going to care about the deep stats on this guy, especially this entire year. All right, I'm saying it now. I'm not going to care about the hitting stats that much. What I'm going to be looking for is he clutch? When he gets on, is he annoying? Is he disrupted? When he gets on base, that's when the game should be starting. So that's what I'm going to be looking for: the clutch factor and how is he on the bases? Is he racking up those stolen bases? Because if he is, all that means is we're now just talking about a guy who needs to increase his average, get more hits, maybe be more patient, get on base where he can really be lethal.
Yeah, and I think so far he's been having a good approach at the plate. A couple walks like early
Big
on
time.
in the when he's leading off the game. Had one this week. I think it was against Dylan Cease where he worked a walk in his first plate appearance. So my reasonable expectation is to be better than the center fielder was for the last 5 years. If he does that, the Phillies are going to be a better team.
Right.
To me. And for him, I think when you say like 260, I'm cool with that. Like 260, 270, pop out like 10 homers, steal like 30 bags. I'm good. I'm good with that because right now, last year the league leading hitter was 304. So it's not like we're in the 2000s, 1990s where the batting champ is going to bat 340, like 260, 270. That's a reasonable average now in today's game. So, yeah, I'm all for that.
Right.
And
Get on base and turn the
Yeah.
lineup over to the top of the order. That's all he needs to do, and play good defense.
And could we see some sneaky doubles and triple numbers? Could he push 20 doubles and maybe 5, 6 triples? Could we see something? Because I would take that. If his doubles and triples are pushing above 25, I think that's extremely great production. Would you guys be with that, or you guys need more? We got to get close to 30. What's the number there? And I'm going to combine doubles and triples. If he's above 25, I think that's great.
I'm trying to think about this because triples is a weird one. You the lead leaguer.
Triples is hard. I was thinking about triples because with Jimmy Rollins, he had 10 triples when he won the MVP, or above 10 triples.
He had 20.
He had 20 triples. Wow, that's insane. So, wow, 20 triples is a ton.
It's a lot.
Which is definitely going to, my point being, how many of those were savvy veterans triples, or how many were just like, because like you said, triples are so awkward.
So let me take your question a different direction, because this is how I love you guys checked off basically everything I was going to say, and the one addition I was going to make is what you hit on, Bones, is that he hasn't looked overmatched at the plate. He's looked like he's belonged. He hasn't been swinging at junk. He's looked like he's been walking when necessary, seeing pitches. So this is what I did. I went back to 2007 Shane Victorino, right? And let me kind of read off some of his numbers, aligning with what you were saying, Slim. That year, he was about a 770 OPS. He had between 12 and 15 homers and had 37 stolen bags. Now, even if he's a little bit less on the slug, on his OPS is about league average, 750 or so. If he's getting you 12 to 15 homers, he's in there between 260 and 280, and he's getting you 30 to 40 stolen bases. That's a lot, right? Because you got to get on base a lot for that. But is that unreasonable, even if he's a notch below that?
So the home runs is what I don't know. I truly don't know what to expect with the home runs. If he gets 15 home runs, I think that's phenomenal.
Right.
I think that's absolutely phenomenal.
Agreed. I
think that's phenomenal.
Yeah, 15 might be a little high, but that would be awesome if he was able to do that.
Yeah, I'm not.
If he's still able to get the ball on the ground and all that stuff. I just don't want him to change what he's been for the last 4 years in the minors, where he's batting 330. I know he's not going to come up and hit 330.
Right.
But don't change your approach. Like, be who you are, who got you there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot being made of what he doesn't work, but there's something to be said. It's sometimes when everybody else is zigging and you're zagging, that's the reason why you're successful, right? And that's Justin Crawford do it too. Every single level. And look, let's not get too crazy here, but obviously every single level of the minor leagues, he's performed very well. And so far in the major league spring training, he's performed very well. Now, can he do it at the next level? We're going to see. But regardless of that, I think it's something we can be excited about, and we're going to find out. We're going to find out soon.
Well, let's two things to close it on is look at Trey Turner. Turner changed his approach a little bit last year, got on base more, got more hits, stole more bases. He's one of the fastest guys in the league.
Yep.
That's a perfect model. You said Victorino, but he should be watching Trey Turner every single day, seeing what he does, how all that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we have Franny D in the chat here. I see you commenting. Let's throw it up here. So sounds to me that Bones may be suggesting that Crawford could be a two-hitter. May not be a bad idea. Maybe in the future. I would imagine that's in the works for him, one or two-hitter, right? He meets that profile, gets on base, can, turn a single into a double very quickly on the bags.
Yeah.
Anything else on catch, Slim?
There's always going to be a bad number for Crawford. Like, oh yeah, I know he's hitting 313, but this is his progression number. That's going to be his whole career. I can already say it. I think he's going to define the odds. I think he's going to be awesome for us.
It's looking that way. And again, reminder, chat, if you comment #RedRider, you'll be entered into a free raffle for a Phillies bobblehead. Boys, let's move on to our next topic, which is another fun one for one of the young guns. So Andrew Painter made his debut today. versus the Yankees down in Clearwater. And all things look pretty good, right? 2 innings, no hits, strikeout, no walks. What did you see that you liked down there, Bones?
20 pitches, 14 of them strikes. I mean, last year they said his command was off. You could tell by the way he was giving up homers, all that stuff.
Right.
As long as his command's good, and he's topping, like today, he was topping out like 97, 98 for the game, and that's his first start. So we're early on. That's looking good so far, but let's see if he can be consistent with it.
Right, it's his first start, and he can ramp up his velocity. Maybe his velocity is pretty high, but it wasn't as high as his major league debut. And that's the one blemish a lot of the advanced analytic people are getting into now, is that it's still not as fast as it was. But here's the counter, and you saw it today. He started off, he had a couple hitters in that first inning that he started off first ball, fastball. One was a strike to the first batter. Second time, I think it was a ball. But then that third hitter, I believe it was Dominguez, he started him off with a curveball. And that's where Andrew Painter's a little bit different than where he was 2 years ago. The fastball, no doubt, when you're a beast, you can go fastball, 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 and then work your 4 pitches off of that. His fastball might not be a tick as good as it was 2 years ago, but everything else is better. And he's going to be able to use those. He's more confident using his other pitches as first pitches and not just his fastball anymore. So I still think he's going to be great.
And that at bat, he finished him off with the 90-mile-an-hour slider.
Right, with the slider. And all the hits were soft. They were all soft, all to right side of the field.
Yeah, and then to the point on this fastball, a lot of time, again, this is early spring, right? So a lot of time the velo is going to build up, like we've seen with players like Nola, Wheeler. Like a lot of times their velo is building up. I mean, hell, did you see Spencer Strider, where his velo is right now? It's crazy.
Yo, absolutely. So where his velo's at. I seen the whole long list of Braves players who are hurt, and I don't want to say I'm loving every minute of it, but
you're loving every minute of it.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to be hurt, but it's good for the Phillies.
Yeah, that's always a real conflicted, morally, a moment when you see that, right?
You recall the last time, because we grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s. You guys have seen the old NFL clips. You've seen the old Major League Baseball clips.
Right.
When did you guys really start recognizing injuries as being a real thing these guys got to go through?
What do you mean by that?
So I remember probably being in high school, or maybe it was early college, around 16, 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It was an Eagles game, and it was Austin Collie. He got hit really hard. And I remember being like, wow. I cheered for the hit. I was like, wow. And then
I see what you're saying.
Wow, he's actually hurt, because for a long time, that was not the thought.
I see what you're saying. I don't know. I'll let Bones take that one.
Well, that was like a different type of injury. He was like almost pronounced dead on the middle of the field when that happened. He wasn't since. But first, I guess when Brian Dawkins smoked the Algae Crumpler.
The other one I can think of is Lindros.
Aren't you asking, like, when did you start, like, getting sympathy for that? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. When did you mature enough to realize
probably like junior year of high school
that they're real people, not just like superheroes or trying to win your favorite club a game? When did you stop being a fanatic?
Well, it depends on who it is, and I still won't do it for Spencer Strider. That dude's a dick.
I think it's more like when you stop playing Madden, whenever that was, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was a big thing when you're playing Madden and one of your guys goes down. That was always a disaster.
Yeah, it was.
All right, chat. This is where we need some of your participation here. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up some of the new names, new faces that you're going to see in the Phillies here this year, right? Now, not all of these guys are guaranteed to make the Phillies' final opening day roster, but a good amount of them will. So this is what we're going to try to have some conversation here. I want to hear what the boys got to say. Nicknames, fan sections, things like, obviously, Wheeler's nickname is Wheels. You had fan sections like Randy Wolf, the Wolf Pack, right? Like all these different things. So take that however you want. Slim, I'm going to start with you. What are some of the creative things you came up with this list of names?
All right. So right off the bat, I got Chase, the Sugar Man Sugart. All right.
Okay.
I got going back again to the 90s, millennial, and then due to this, hopefully his stuff, I got Zach Dirty Pop. And lastly, I got, where's he at? I got Justin Crawford, Mr. Triple A, Anti-Advanced Analytics. For my 3.
Oh, that's hilarious. What do you got, Bones?
So I was trying to look up how to pronounce. Is it Bolin?
Yeah, I think so. Jonathan Bolin.
He got hit today.
A typical the bowling balls.
I have bowling ball. Check.
And then probably throw out an Irish one for McCambley over there because he's a Rule 5 guy. So he's either going to be up with the Phillies or he's not going to be with the Phillies. So he's going to be sticking around, and we got to come up some Irish one for him.
Yeah, like Mac or something.
Yeah, bring in what's that show? Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I like
Mac
that.
Boys. The
And
Mac Men.
The other one is Kyle, don't call me back. You know what?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. Don't call me back ass. So mine are I had bowling ball. Andrew Painter's a layup. Andrew's Painters, right? We can all be dressed as like Sherwin-Williams Painters in a section. That's a layup. Aldolis Garcia, it's anytime he hits a homer, Garcia later, right? That's going to be something we can
That's a good one.
We're going to be seeing that on Twitter, the Garcia later.
Yeah.
What else do I have here? You hit a lot of the goodies.
We got everyone. We talked about every single player besides Brad Keller.
So
Brad Keller, yeah.
I had one more for Zach Pop, who got rocked today. So
yeah, he's
Zach Lollipop.
Zach Lollipop. Yeah. See, I was trying to be nice. I didn't and go with I went Dirty Pop.
No, that's a goodie.
Remember that one back in the day with the old lollipop?
Yeah, we remember the lollipop. Look at that lollipop. Look at that lollipop. And it looks like my boys might have a chance here. McCampley and Sugart.
100%. So chat, if you have any suggestions with these new names, again, the existing ones that are out there, like you have the Lizard King with
what about Adonis the Jim Garcia? Because
I was trying to, he's like huge. I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, that's a goodie. Yeah, Adonis, right? Because that's like a god, right?
If it is now.
Yeah. No, I think that's
get out the way. We got Adonis's gym.
Dude,
that's what I was thinking. That was the one I was thinking, Chris.
Yeah,
I like that. You could do Brad the Killer Keller.
Explain that one.
Just Killer Keller. It's just something. It's just something.
All right. So we got to think of one for Brad Keller.
Yeah.
Brad. The classic is B-Rad, right? You can just be B-Rad Keller.
B-Kel. Yeah, I'm just trying to think
needs
here.
one because he's with Team USA, and he's the guy. There's one of the teams we're going to be hearing a lot about is the Cubs, and I can't stand it. We're so much better than the Cubs. The Phillies right now are actually underrated. We're kind of a bit of underdogs because people are so tired of us, but we're still better than all these NL teams. It's disgusting that I see rankings with the Cubs and Mets and such ahead of us. They tried to do the Braves months ago, and the Braves are all hurt and stinky. And now they're saying the Mets and the Cubs are better than us. Get real.
So we got a little bit of help here from Tony saying, Keller, ain't that a brand of butter? Maybe he got a slippery curveball in his arsenal. Perhaps it's just smooth. All right. That's creative. I like that.
Keller. It's another Irish name, right?
Yeah, that's definitely Irish. We'll table that. Anything else, boys?
B-Rad, Malibu's most wanted.
All right, Slim. I wanted to transition here because I have two guys that I know could handle this very well. And the font's a little bit small here, and for our listeners. So the St. Louis Cardinals are introducing a ticket package starting at $29. That includes bottomless soda, hot dogs, chicken tenders, bratwurst, nachos, fries, popcorn, peanuts, chips, and ice cream. You heard it, ice cream. Boys, what was your reaction when you saw that?
That is phenomenal. I'm wondering, you can't really chip the size of a hot dog, so you're going to stand their hot dog, which is some places is already $9 to $10. So you're already at that in a filled up in the Citizens Bank. You're paying $9 for that hot dog. I'm eager to see what the chicken and you're getting a bratwurst. So you got two. You can't skimp at bratwurst. So that's $18 of value at least already at Citizens Bank Park. I wonder how many chicken tenders. I wonder about the nachos, the fries, what that all looks like. That's a lot.
My first thing was, when's the Phillies' first game in St. Louis? I want to book a flight. It's probably cheaper for me to take my family to there and buy one of these tickets, and then I'll just buy one of them tickets for me, standing room for them, and I could just give it out to them, right?
Dude, that would be that's great content. If we can make that happen, if we can somehow,
I think St. Louis. My sources in the South are telling me that St. Louis is one of the cities to be. It's super affordable. It's fun. It's walkable. I'm hearing it's a Southern Philadelphia back in when Philadelphia was on the up and up 30 years ago.
We had a Red Rider.
I wouldn't call St. Louis the South.
What, at Midwest?
Yeah.
We had a Red Rider. I think it was last year he was there, and he stayed at the hotel right across from the new Busch Stadium. And that night it was like raining out, and I think his kids were sick, but he couldn't go to the game. They were giving away tickets. They were like $1 a ticket.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. We could probably plan the trip, just get the lodging and the flights, and then when we get there, get the tickets the day of, and probably get decent seats the day of. And then if it's cheap enough, we get enough people. We can get it. Maybe you got the children, but we can do it either way. We could do it to where we're chilling, walking around, and it's
absolutely.
Cheap. Or if we want to elevate it, get third base, first base, or right left field, a club box, whatever. Wait till the day of. I think we got to look up the schedule once we get off air.
And in all seriousness, with no beer, I could probably take down most of this thing here.
Oh, yeah. You need the whole
thing.
There's
not beer on there, because once I start drinking, I really don't eat, but that other stuff.
Well, that's the competition. So if we make this happen, we got to have like a checklist where all three of us have the checklist, right? Because we're doing for content. You check off each of the items that you were able to get for that $29. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm curious what the is it going to be like buffet style? Like, what would the situation be? Because the Orioles have that.
Sounds like they're giving you a box.
Oh, it's a box. Damn, even better. Yeah, baseball heaven too, man. That's been on my to-do list for a while. So I would love to go there, which is funny, Slim. And I love to hear that you kind of got a counter read on St. Louis, because St. Louis is actually one of those cities that people like to rag on a lot. From what I've heard in the past. So, but I love to kind of go to those under the radar cities where you don't have high expectations and just kind of like take it all in.
And I actually you're right. I've heard people rag on St. Louis. I recently heard really, really good things. I ragged on the Cardinals as an organization, but I got a full stop right now because one huge reason. This deal, even if they do skimp out on some things, it's still a great value compared to what we see here up in the Northeast. And what I'm really excited about is last year, and probably still this year, but last year, do you recall as the season was starting, all the organizations were rolling out these fancy, smancy menu items that nobody really wanted? It was all like trying to.
Yes.
I like seeing these value deals a lot more than I like seeing your donut, coffee, latte, ice cream that no one's going to order.
Yeah, they're more like a marketing gimmick. So let's actually talk about that, because I'll be honest. We've been a little bit quiet on the whole tickets and concessions thing. I think we try to play a little bit, because the Sixers and the Eagles have been getting drugged through the dirt for years, right? Now the Phils are catching up. So let's just keep it a buck on this. It is getting crazy down there. And I'm waiting for John Middleton to address this, because that's completely in his brand to want to care about that. So it's going to get to the point where Middleton's going to have to make a comment on that. And I'm curious when that will happen. What do you guys think about that?
Well, it should happen if they
Soon.
win these. Well, I don't think we're getting it this year because you got the strike coming. They're probably counting every dollar they can.
Good point.
And so we're probably not going to get it. Hopefully we see hopefully they win the I hate to be on pro owners, but if the owners can win the strike,
brutal, dude.
Maybe they can lessen the concession stands. I know, Slim, you're naive, but we could see they could throw us a little bit of scraps on the prices at the ballpark if they win these negotiations.
Yeah, not everybody can be Arthur Blank and give away $1 hot dogs and $2 sodas.
Yeah, kudos to him for that.
We need Richard. He has to sell off more of the team. But that's the problem. You kind of do need one of these sole owner types, right? Like how Laurie is with the Eagles. Because if not, that now you're asking other people to buy in, and they're all going to want to get their money back.
Well, you're not wrong about where you're going with that. It's more so where you're at in the winning cycle, right? Like the Phils right now are in the invest. So they got to get some of that money back on the tickets and the concessions and merch,
right? And then you can when the team's not as good, you can just rely on when you were investing heavy,
like the Cardinals are doing right now with $29 all you can eat stuff,
right?
Yeah, off topic, but it's kind of like in topic.
Yeah,
where Charles Barkley, there were the whole tanking thing in the NBA, how it's getting outrageous. He made the comment where you can't raise prices on anything if you're below 500.
I like that
for the following year. This way, it gives the team incentives to do better because they can't raise prices.
Yeah,
they should do that. Put a hold on stuff.
That would be very interesting. And yeah, I mean, just from a ticket standpoint, we have a season ticket plan. The tickets went up again, right? And they've gone up and up every year. And they've there's a big hike this year. And I could actually tell just from a email and sales standpoint, I don't think the tickets are going as fast as they did in the past couple of years. So you could tell people are responding to those price increases. So yeah, it's interesting. And I just think it would be off brand for Middleton to not eventually address that. I think he will. And I think you're very, very sharp, Slim, on that point about he'll tie it into everything.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, there's a lot more, but I don't want to get too lost in the sauce here. But you're right. The Phillies are receiving a little bit of criticisms right now.
Should we talk about some of the drama?
Yeah, I was actually going to lead to that because before we even get into this Jean Segura stuff, and this is the whole overarching vibe, and maybe we aren't the right people to talk about this, but I've seen criticisms on the Phillies handling the month of February, with it being Black History Month, African American History Month, and now we're seeing this story with Jean Segura and the volume stuff. You know what I'm talking about? To where Jean Segura said he was speaking with other Dominican Republic teammates, Carlos Santana, having a powwow with his boys, and Bryce Harper, who has came over, told him not in the locker room, and we don't got to beat it.
Well, hold on, you didn't present that right. He was FaceTiming.
FaceTime. Okay, well,
yeah.
I assume.
And Santana was not on the team at the time. No, so let me back up. Yeah. So this story happened, I believe it was 2019. Correct, Bones? Somewhere that would make sense timeline. So this is a while ago, somewhere around 2019, give or take a year. And it was Jean Segura was in the locker room FaceTiming a player who was not on the team, which was Carlos Santana at the time. And he was being very loud, and I think there was a speaker involved. That's the report. That's not what we're saying. And Harper took an issue with that and told him to basically take that out of the locker room. So that's the background.
You're not the only one in the locker room.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So what I would say, I'll lead with my opinion on this, and I want to hear what you guys. I think it's a really easy take to just say that you feel bad for Segura here. So I'm not going to take that take because I do think on its surface, I think it makes Harper seem like a bully. But let's take a step back. We don't know the full context. Let's say the Phillies were losing at that time, which they probably were, right?
Yeah, they were 500 ball club.
Yeah, they were a 500 ball club. So if I walk into a ball club after a tough loss and I see a bunch of laughing, FaceTiming people, and the other thing about FaceTime, you got people undressing and stuff in the locker room. So that might have been on his mind. So there's a lot. I'm speculating here. I don't know anything here. There's a little bit more factor. Now, how Harper handled it, I don't know what he said exactly. If he used certain language, yeah, I'm not going to get behind that. But I would be pissed too if I'm walking into my clubhouse and there's someone clowning around when we're losing. That's where I'm at.
Right. My whole point is, and again, we don't got to beat it up.
Yeah.
Is you're letting the worst. You're letting people who are looking to attack you on maybe non-merit means. You're giving them that leeway with that story. Plain and simple. I've seen people who never talk about the Phillies come out the woodwork, and now they're talking about the Phillies for all the wrong reasons.
Bones, what do you think about this? And I want to get back to that, Slim.
One, Gene Segura was wrong with doing that. Like, I just can't stand it when people do it. When I hear them walking down the street and they're sitting there on FaceTime or speakerphone, they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's rude, especially when, like, the thing says, set the rider. Like, do you want to relax? You got your headphones in. Why can't you do the same?
Right.
But the other thing, it's funny, all this stuff's coming out after Harper makes these comments. So, what kind of leader is he? One, to me, like, do people respect him?
Well, so I would say, to answer your question, I think his delivery on some of this stuff is old school, and we've heard him flip out on obviously the commissioner, now Gene Segura, and also I know Edmundo Sosa had an issue with him before the past couple of years, where Edmundo actually came out and said that, yeah, Harper came over and talked to me. So I would push back and say that this kind of stuff happens all the time. You heard the stories with Dutch, Darren Dalton being super confrontational with guys that aren't respecting the clubhouse, respecting the game. So this stuff isn't supposed to come out. So Segura shouldn't have talked about this if we're keeping it 100%. If we're going by the code, Segura, it's a violation for even bringing his story up in the way that he did. Now, I heard this is a Mets fan. The Mets are involved with this, who leaked this podcast, and they did the translation too. So I'm told that it might be a little wonky with the translation. I did a little digging. I tried to get my wife to listen to it, but we couldn't find the full thing. But yeah, I told there's a little bit of goofball stuff going on with the translation as well. So I don't know.
Yeah,
we don't get the whole story. Sorry.
Right, we didn't get the whole story. I get what you're saying though about the leadership.
Just got that clip.
And he has to be. You got to. If he's going to be a leader, you got to approach people with different ways. Different. You got to have like 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Maybe you got to have countless different approaches. You know, not everyone's Kyle Schwarber and JT Bermuda, where you guys all play baseball the same way all the time. You know.
No, and the other thing was Santana used to be a former player on the Phillies, right?
Yeah.
So, and they weren't in the winning ways when he was here.
No, but when Santana was here, he was serious. He's the one that he took the bat to the video game players, remember?
Right.
And Gene Segura, don't get me wrong, he has his moments. He's a character, right? In a lot of ways, he was a character, posting stuff on social media during his time here. But he was good. He was professional, you know?
Yeah, but I wonder what Santana's response was to this. Like,
yeah,
you said, Chris, like he was the guy with the bat to the PlayStation and stuff like that.
I would guess that Santana would understand. Again, this is all he said, she said stuff. We're just speculating on what happened, right? But I would imagine that Santana, being the competitor that he is, given that we heard that classic story of him going to the Fortnite screen or whatever with the bat, I would imagine he would understand Harper's stance. Again, I'm just picturing a situation where Harper had an 0 for 4, the team lost 7-2, and he's walking into a clubhouse and he's seeing somebody FaceTiming people while he's trying to get, undressed or something like that. And me personally, I would probably be pissed off too. That's just me personally.
You're making but almost on that point, you're acting like he's FaceTiming. I'm sure it was like in his locker in the corner, and he's like, whatever. Like,
yeah.
No, the way it sounds like it was like super loud.
Like it was a speaker. There was a speaker
because
involved.
Like the thing he said was like, how like the Dominicans, they like to be loud and like be like rowdy when they're talking and like having a good time.
Right.
That's what he said.
So you're saying he was admitting he was loud as hell?
Most likely.
Yeah. Well, to Adam's point, and this was the other thing about the translation being wonky, because when I looked into this a little bit, the other thing that I believe was being lost in translation allegedly is that Segura was being a little bit like self-deprecating and also being like sarcastic, meaning when he was telling this story, he wasn't telling it from the standpoint of like Harper was being correct. Exactly. Like almost like it was like a funny story that happened. You know what I mean? Like again, that was the one thing I read, because it's so easy when you're reading something on paper to just jump to conclusions. So I don't know. We'll have to figure out the truth one day. Tony, you're right, man. Get him on the show. We'll see what he can do.
We should get him on the show.
And I'll go back to your chat here. Tony saying, not cool that your season ticket prices went up. In my opinion, did nothing get better from last season. Yeah, I mean, especially since they whiffed on Bichette, right? So I don't know why they went as much as they did, but we're still the suckers that are going to be paying no matter what. Anything else on Segura? I mean, I want to paint both sides because I think it's probably a hardo move by Harper, but I don't know.
I mean, there's always moments, it's like, especially with teammates, especially with teams, you're going to get in arguments, you're going to yell, you're not going to always, there's going to be times where your patience is thin and someone else is content, or you perceive them as being content, and that's going to, of course, tick you off.
Right. Any closing thoughts? Anything, boys? I know we have a raffle to get to.
Any closing thoughts?
Quickly, no, have fun in Florida.
Thank you. Very excited.
Jealous.
So, couple closing thoughts quickly with the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, go.
I think anyone who's nervous about the injuries, we should lighten up a little bit on that front. I think guys like Sanchez, Nola, these teams that won't be on Team USA or maybe a contender, you might see them coming home after their first outings.
Good call there. And Slim, when we're down in Clearwater, there's going to be a lot of good games on. So I got a couple of those. Puerto Rico versus, I believe, is it Panama? I think they're playing each other. There's a couple of good games that are down there while we're down there that I have circled. So I'm excited.
Perfect.
Let's get to this. Let's get to this raffle here. Let me pull this. Add the stage. Last time, this one gave me a hard time. I don't know if it's going to be working here. Let's see if I can get this to work. I don't know why the raffle one doesn't work for us.
Good thing Chris didn't get do a Red Rider hashtag this week, so he doesn't win.
Let's see here. There we go. We got it to work. Beautiful. All right, so let's get this raffle going here, boys. Who do we got?
It's got to be Tony today.
Fran D. Fran, do me a favor. Congratulations. Reach out to us via whatever, DMs, wherever you can find us. We'll find you and we'll send you that. Bones, what do we got today for him?
We got an Aaron Nola bobblehead.
Oh, nice.
And I adjusted this one myself to where it swings his neck from one way all the way out to left field after he gives up a homer.
Nah.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Yep.
Love it.
That's funny. He's playing for Italy, serving up meatballs.
Yep, there you go. All right, congratulations. Congratulations to our to Red Rider Fran there. We will get you that Aaron Nola bobblehead. Boys, I'm excited to go to Clearwater in only a few days here. Red Riders, do us a favor if you are still here. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We will see you soon. Go Phils, and we will be reporting down live from Clearwater with an episode, so stay tuned on all that. See you soon.